Alright. STI blown motor started up. Gotta move it into the shop here. Oh, wrong key.
Fields happening now at cetweb.e.
I lied.
Prices.
Alright, there we go. So it makes a Subaru, folks.
Chevy Silverado 1500 LT Crew Cab for only $46,980. That's $12,000 in savings.
Oh yeah.
Chevy Traverse. Looking for a new SUV? Save thousands on all Traverse, Equinox, Blazer, and Traverse models. Find these and other great deals today at Moss Brothers Chevrolet or online at mossbroschevrolet.com.
Oh. Alrighty. I know damn well y'all. Yeah, that shit I would say is pretty fucked. So, time for a motor. Dash. 53K needs a motor. Alrighty, so on the 2020 STI, start off with taking out the Freon. Alrighty, got the lines connected. Now I just gotta recover it. Alrighty, while that's going, I'm gonna take off the little, move this out of the way, you guys can kind of somewhat see. Take off this little air duct. Nope, they didn't break, but these are like not Subaru clips. So yeah, fuck that shit. Set this off to the side. Okay, now I'm gonna take off the top mount. Just a bunch of 12s. Turn those off. Okay, now I'm going to take out the wishbone. This is the wishbone. I'll take this guy off. And then you got bell housing bolts, a bunch of 14s. There's one here on top of the starter. There's one over here. There's one kind of below the turbo a little bit. And there's one below the starter. And then there's two studs at the very bottom. And there should be like two more, I think. So I'm going to start by taking off this. And then getting as many of those bell housing bolts as I can. And then going to take the downpipe off and whatnot. But we'll do that later. I'm going to get those done and then take off this intake and then probably do the radiator, start draining that, lift it up, get all the bottom side disconnected and go from there. Alright, gonna do the bell housing bolts now. Just gonna break them loose first. Okay, now I'm going to take off some 10s on top of the shield on the turbo. go, shields out. Now there's a couple 14s on top of the downpipe. Just take like a 14 ratchet or wrench on one side, and then I have like a ratcheting wrench, these box end ones. Alright, once I got the two little brackets, or two little bolts off of the bracket on top of the turbo, so it looks like just put the bolts back in, set it to the side. And then there's another two more 14s on the turbo that we can get to. So we'll take these off now. So now the downpipe is not connected to the turbo no more. So now all I have to do to take it out is just get it from the bottom side. I'm going to take out this air duct. Now I'm going to take off the front little harness here. Connects to the alternator. Then get these AC hoses out. Alright, and then you gotta take the 12 off of the alternator. Remember, you should probably disconnect the battery for this so you don't shock yourself. My battery's already dead, so I don't really gotta worry about shocking myself. And getting the fuel lines off. I use these. If you want to use something different, you can. Some people can even take zip ties and put them in there, and that works. I got both of those off. Just take that off. Then there's a brake booster hose. Take that one off. Alright, now let's see. We got top of the bell housing bolts off, the turbo bolts off. So we'll go to lift the car up now. I'm gonna drain the oil, take off the downpipe, try to get the radiator drained, and then we'll come back up here to the top. Alright, gonna lift the car up. First things first, gonna take off the under tray, and then there's a bunch of clips. Alright, now that we got the under tray out, I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil. How dark that shit is. And there's a big old dent in it. That looks sick, but whatever. Alright, let that drain out a bit. Bring it back up. Little ground wire over here that connects to the exhaust. Just a little 10 mil. All you gotta do is take it off. There's one on each. Now I'm gonna take off the motor mount bolts. Two 14s. Drop the motor back down. It was all crooked prior. Alright. Drain the radiator out. All right, then while that's draining, I'm gonna take out the rest of the downpipe.
It's broken. Where's your motor mount?
It's broke.
It snapped off the top.
Yeah, bro, it's 'cause it's so much horsepower, bro.
Relax, slow your roll.
It's
I'm not
horsepower.
the fucking customer.
I'm not saying that. But it's the horsepower, bro. Horsepower.
I'm just helping you.
Like, you ain't never heard of horsepower?
Never heard of it, never had it. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You drive a Lexus.
Low and slow, baby. Low and slow.
Low and slow. Low and slow. Alright, now I'm gonna take off these bolts on the bottom of the starter and then some more. Some more below the starter. Just break these loose by hand. Especially because these swivel sockets like to break. So I feel like if you use them by hand, technically they're not impact rated, Snap-on says, but whatever. I don't know why they're impact. They look like impact. Alright, now that those are all off, I'm going to take off the radiator hose so we can get the radiator out. And then just make sure to unplug the radiator fans from the bottom. That way when you're taking everything off from the top, you're not like tugging on the wire and shit. Gonna plug this back up over here. Alright, got everything from the bottom side disconnected. Now I'm gonna take the radiator out. Alright, now radiator's out. And now that we got all this room, I'm gonna take out the power steering pump, keep that in the car. Loosen up the alternator. Now the belt comes off. Set that to the side. Take the bolt that connects the alternator off. I'm gonna just take the alternator out of there completely. You can keep it in, but take it out of the way now. Makes it a little easier. Got that one out. And now I'm gonna grab a swivel 12 3/8 ratchet. Once that's broken loose with my hand, just get it out with the gun. Unplug the wire on the top. And then I always just tuck it in this little area where the air box goes. And then I like to put the bolt back so I don't lose it. Don't have to do that, just what I do. Alright, now we got everything in the front kind of taken off. Gonna take the turbo, not completely out, just have to loosen it, and there's one more bell housing bolt. Alright, that bell housing bolt's out. We can come over here to this side. Since I got that bottom starter bolt earlier, now the starter's loose completely. So I'm kind of move it out the way. Alrighty, now I'm gonna take out the slave cylinder. There's 2 bolts. Those are both 14s. reach in here, grab these 2 bolts. Alright, the slave cylinder. Oop. And drop that shit, whatever. Slave cylinder is loose. Just have to take off its little Allen, well, not really little, but a big Allen bolt down here by the clutch fork. Once you get that off, you can take a 10 mil screw, like the one you took off from the AC hoses. You can just screw that into that little dowel, and then you can pull that whole pin out, and that releases the clutch from the car. Then once you do that, pretty much ready to pull the motor out. Alrighty, now pretty much got everything out. Have to just get this little cap off. I already broke it loose. Once you get this loose, just take it off. This is a little cap I'm talking about. This is going to release the clutch fork. You can take the 10 that was holding the line on the AC compressor, this guy, put it in that hole, and then you'll feel where this can thread in at. Screw that in. Now once you do that, you can pull this dowel out of here. Sometimes it's a little rougher, I guess you'd say. Now this is out. Now since this is out, ready to pull out the motor. Everything is unbolted. Got all the bell housing bolts out. Got the radiator out. Got all the lines disconnected. So gonna go get the engine crane and be ready to go. Alright, now we're ready to pull out the motor. Just kind of put a jack underneath the trans a little bit. Get this to kind of split open a little. Put the chain there. And get the engine crane. And ready to Alright, got the clutch off. Pretty cooked. Alright, I take the flywheel off. Alright, I just gotta go get a engine stand. Alright, got that on. Alright, got the motor out on the engine stand. Gonna just go ahead and take it over to the pressure washer this thing off, clean it, and then we'll go ahead and go start taking everything apart, get it all broke down on the table, get it going. Alright, got the motor cleaned off. Now I just got to take it all apart. I'm gonna take out the compressor first, just a bunch of 14s. 2 in the back. Alright, got the AC compressor off.
Yeah.
Took off the secondary air pump. Now I just need to take off the top mount. Once I got the top mount off, then I'll flip it over, do the bottom side. So I'm gonna just start by unbolting this. Alright, once you get that little reservoir off, alright, I'm gonna pop off this 10 right here, get the little cover off. And that is just so I could get this 2 little wires here. These are for the cam position sensor and the OCV. And these are here, you can just unbolt. All right, and then flip it over and do the same for the other side. Unplug both of these. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this crankshaft position sensor. I'm gonna plug the temperature sensor there. No, this is unplugged. That can stay on. All right, now take a 12 on a swivel. I'm gonna use this just to break the bolts loose for the intake. All right, now that all those are off, this will just kind of pick up a bit. Unplug all the sensors. Oh yeah, and Atlanta, you got to take the lines off the throttle body as well. And there's also a knock sensor down here that you got to unplug. Alrighty, now everything on the top is off. Now I'm undoing the turbo. It's just 314s. And I gotta undo the oil line, which is 17s. Turn this around. You guys can see what's going on here. So I got this, these three out, 1, 2, 3. Now I got this 17 off. I'm gonna take this little clamp off. I got your turbo out. I keep the reservoir on it just so it kind of stays by it. Alright, I'm gonna take this little bracket off. Alright, now that bracket's off. Same with the little one. And we're gonna flip it over, get the bolts on the exhaust manifold off. Alright, I got all the shields off. Now I'm going to just take off the 14s. There's 3 on each side. No. Well, bam. No more exhaust. Alright, now we got all this off. We can take off the front pulley and then get all the timing shit off. Alright, now that's off. Alright, now I gotta take off all the 10s for the timing cover. Alright, I'm gonna turn this over till all the timing marks line up. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to. It's in time, just blew up. So make Subaru Subaru. Alright, now we got pretty much all these little caps off, all on the cam gears. So go ahead and take your little 10, this guy here, and stick it on here, and then take a hammer and just give it a couple taps on each of them. Ugh. That just kind of helps break them loose a little bit, so that way when you take it off here, it's not as bad. So then you can get your long 3/8 ratchet. And then this is a special Subaru tool. Probably buy one closer to it on Amazon. It's got like some special little notches there that hold on to the gears. So just put that on here. Once got that on here like this, I'm gonna get it snugged up. And then go here. Then now you're ready to take this off. So, kind of a pain in the ass, as you see. So when they strip, it's not fun at all. So go ahead and just do the same thing now for the other three. And then you can slide those right off. These leak out fluids, so just grab little pads, put them underneath in advance. That way when it does spill, it's less to clean up. Put these away. Alright, now that you got those all out, pop these guys off. Alright, now that all of that stuff is off, you can put the pan away. I'll take off this little bracket here that holds on this little idler. It's 312s. Just leave the bolts honestly in it. Once that's off, then you can loosen up the little 10 on it that connects to the plastic cover. Now this is good to set to the side. I continue just taking out this and this. Both these plastic covers just set to the side. Alright, now that I got this off, I'm gonna take off these hoses and all this crossover pipe shit. Alright, now I'm gonna take this shit off, bunch of 12s. Just put the bolts back, just so I don't lose them. Alright, once we got that off, I'm gonna get this water pump off, take this off. This one's gonna be a 14 and the water pump is just a bunch of 10s. Alright, once we got that off, go ahead and take this 10 out. Alright, don't have to do that, but that works. I'll go ahead and get this clamp off. Alright, once you got that off, go ahead and take off the dipstick. This just kind of pulls out. Alright, now we can go ahead and start on taking on the heads off. So go ahead and flip this over to one side. Start off with, let's just do this side. We're gonna go ahead and take off the valve cover now, a bunch of 10s. And then that way we can get the head off. Alright, now once you got that off, go ahead and take off this oil line over here that connects to the cam cap. Alright, once you get the 17 off the oil line, go ahead and unbolt the cam shaft cap. Alright, once you pull that out, just take off the caps, set those to the side. And then grab your camshaft, set those to the side. Alright, now you're gonna grab a 14 like that. And use that one to unbolt the heads. Alright, now that all those are loosened up by hand, you can get a I use an adapter to my 3/8 gun, and that way I can just zap the bolts out. Alright, now once those are off, head should just lift up. That's good. Set this aside.
Well, I show a shot. Yeah.
In the arms of an angel. Alright, now that that side is off, just flip it over, do the same for the other side. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and just take out the oil pump now. Alrighty, we're gonna be finally splitting this block here. It's gonna be 12.12. I would start off doing this by hand, and then once you got them broken loose, then you can take it all the way off the gun. Alright, now the block is ready to split. Just gotta set it on the floor or on a table. Alright, so of course while we're recording this, the mic wasn't connected, but I'm just gonna basically run you guys kind of through what I was doing here. This is just to kind of split the block. Once you kind of get it apart, get all those 12s off, you kind of start prying at the front of it, and then once you get it separated a little bit, you can go and start undoing 2 of the pistons on either side. Just pick a side, start undoing those pistons. Once you can get that half of the block off, then you can go ahead and start moving over with taking that crank and turning it over to where you can get the other side. But once you get 2 of them off, it makes it a whole lot easier to just split it all the way apart and undo the other 2 rods. Alright, and then basically right here I'm just kind of going over what went wrong with the motor. Like again, you know, microphone was not connected, but as you see here, the bearing is kind of folded over top of the other bearing. So this, you know, overspun bearing. Could be lack of oil, lack of maintenance, more or less. So now at this point we're just going to kind of wait for the inspector to come. He'll approve it under warranty or deny it, and then we'll go from there. And then if he approves it, cool, we'll order everything under warranty and we'll start building a new one. And then if not, customers got to pay, sadly, and go from there.